Well, I'm shooting this on Sunday morning. It's been a week since my appendix went, and I'm a little bit fucking miffed here, to be honest with you, because I'm pretty much disgusted with the medical profession in general at this point, because this could have been nipped in the bud, so to speak, but obviously no one pays attention. And someone said I should make a video after I got out of the hospital. Well, here's the video. And this ain't going to be pleasant, and I'm not going to name names except for a very good name, Dr. Vladimir Dubchuk, who performed the emergency surgery on me and who also performed my partial colon removal and my hernia repaired. So my book, Doc, you're top notch, you're the best, the hospital's the best. Other things leave a lot to be desired. Like, what's the difference between a veterinarian and a medical doctor? A veterinarian will call you back within 24 hours to let you know what's going on. A medical doctor won't even call you, period. And that bends issues and things like that, because obviously, because I'm an older person, I'm probably just regarded as another walking corpse that people can make money off of until I kick the bucket. Another thing that pisses me off with this whole medical thing is that basically, even though I tell them I'm not a tech guy and I don't want text messages and shit like that, yeah, I get text messages. Okay, here's my screen. Okay, I have a cheap flip phone. I'm not getting a smartphone. I don't walk around with a tablet. I don't walk around with my fucking face buried in the goddamn smartphone like a goddamn chimpanzee. I'm sorry. Shiny objects never encourage me to want them. But this seems to be the norm if I don't get on board with the electronic age, whatever. Right about now, if I need to get an appointment, I can't get an appointment till December. So remember all those stories about Russia and waiting in line for medical treatment, waiting for months to be seen? Yeah, I guess they come to fruition here. And like I said, you don't get a return phone call. Even though my last conversation with that office, that I was in such bad shape last Tuesday that I was actually considering committing suicide, and I even mentioned this on the phone, and yet still, don't get a phone call. Don't get anything. So I'm going to tell a story here. When I was still living in Jersey, I was diagnosed with prostate cancer. It was removed. I never got to a room because of the medical insurance and shit like that. Long story short, because of negligence, because of bad blood work, because of a whole bunch of shit, I keeled over 3 days after the surgery, was rushed back to the ER and told that if I hadn't gotten there when I did, I would have been dead within an hour. I had a blood clot that broke loose and took out my left lung. So to save money, the insurance company sent me home and then had to pay for 10 days of the most miserable fucking experience I've ever had in my life in St. Barnabas Hospital in Livingston, New Jersey. That one I'll say. And if it hadn't been for my ex-wife coming to see me and performing Reiki, which is energy healing on me, I wouldn't be making this video. So now we fast forward to 10 years of no medical care because I had it. I had a colonoscopy and found that I had diverticulitis and was never told how to treat it. So I didn't see a medical doctor for 10 years because of that. Fast forward, I moved to Ohio, Obamacare, you got to be covered. I didn't have the money, I got Medicare. So I got assigned to a doctor who basically stood 3 feet behind me and held up his stethoscope and told me to take a deep breath. Yes, he was from another country. I believe he was from India. But I had a pain in my left side and didn't think nothing of it, wound up I had a torn colon. And that was it. So I got in there, and then all of a sudden, you get on Medicare, and you're supposed to get a physical. Well, I was nervous in there. He threw me on a table, put an EKG on me. It went off the wire. And he threw me to his medical heart doctor associate, who basically wanted to put me on beta blockers without even examining me. Needless to say, I bailed out of that office and went somewhere else. Well, that somewhere else proved to be not so good, too, because basically I never saw a doctor. I saw a nurse practitioner. And she let me walk around with 4 bulging hernias, telling me surgery wasn't unnecessary. Then I finally went back and raised hell, and then it wound up surgery was necessary. So I had to leave there. So that takes me to the current place I'm at, which I thought was good. But now that I'm getting this non-communication, this being sort of like, I'm promised phone calls and don't get the phone calls. Well, that's unacceptable. And a lot of this stuff's unacceptable because I'm going to show you something here. This t-shirt was designed by an old friend of mine named Chris Schrump. Chris was a good guy, real sweetheart of a guy who got lymphoma and died from a medical mistake in New Jersey. Another friend of mine, Ted Bongard, former Korean War veteran, actually a MASH Korean War veteran, went in for a bypass, and there was a mistake, and he died. Another friend of mine, Frank Gentile, who had moved to Arizona, who had mouth cancer, was in the VA, and basically there was a fuck up, and he died. So there's a laundry list of shit going on here, and I'm really starting to wonder what the fuck I'm doing here. Maybe at this stage of the game, maybe I should just not even seek medical treatment, because if I have to jump through fucking hoops and ladders and things like that to be heard or be responded to like a human being instead of a fucking text message, I can't even get an email. So again, I don't know why this is going on. I don't know what precluded this. All I know is I have made my last phone call as of last Friday. What I'm going to do after this, I don't know. I could go on a whole shoot here and start naming names and practices and shit like that, but what's that going to get me? Nothing. So be that as it may, I'm just putting this out there that a lot of us older people are not tech people. And maybe that's the way to get rid of us. I don't know. But another thing too is last Friday I reached out to multiple agencies in this area on aging and stuff like that, and I got, well, you have to leave a voicemail because we're understaffed and maybe we get back to you next week. Well, that's just wonderful. That just fills me with confidence that basically and I'm not throwing this out there to be a prick, I'm just stating the fact, where I went out of my way to help a lot of people during the pandemic, I can't get the same courtesy. And that kind of sucks. So I'm going to end it here. Draw any conclusions you want. I am not doing well. I don't know what I'm going to do after this. I have to get well. I've been trying to get well. I've been trying to stay calm. But when you realize that, you're not going to get a call back, you're not going to get anything, and when you're driven to the point where you basically want to end it all, but you can't end it all because no one would, I just really feel that I don't want my dogs to wind up back in shelters after I got them out of shelters years ago. So, not the most uplifting video, I'm sorry, but you know something? Some shit has to be said, and it was said, so there. You can take it with a grain of salt, you can take it wherever you want. You can try to make it right if you feel the urge to make it right. But to be honest with you right now, I'm not going to hold my breath.